Introducing the Couch Rider Raven Report. Let's go. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. Couch Rider. Ravens, Ravens, hey, Ravens. We gon' ride out. Ravens, Ravens, hey, Ravens. Couch Rider.
For some of you Twitter gangsters, this is just a hobby, original sports perspective. You can't stop me. Couch Rider Report, it's reflective. Please respect it. You will get checked, and your knowledge will be tested. I ain't the coldest Raven, but this is my show. Shout out to the Barry White rap for the beat, though. Hey, you made it back. Welcome back to the home of original sports perspective. From our couch to yours, this is your host, the Couch Rider Raven, Jermaine Lockett. What's good, y'all? See y'all in the room already, ready to rock. Well, of course, we got to go ahead and pass that collection plate. So if you're new here, please hit that like, hit that subscribe, and smack that bell so you know when it's going down. Y'all know what it's all about, folks. We got to talk about it. Y'all saw the title. There's one position group that is going to be beast. And of course, there's probably more than one. But this one is obvious. It's one that the Ravens have doubled down on, and we'll get into that in just a second. Let's just say, hey, what's up to these folks in the room here? So let's see who made it first today. Delicious has the title for first. And Brian said, oh, snap. You're first. All right. Wilbert is in the room. So just so y'all know, we got a resident Cleveland Browns fan in the room. It's going down. He brings a lot of fun to the show, so we are glad he's here. Big Reg in the building. Said, what's good, everybody? Who else we got here? All right. So see some of the comments here. It says, the rumor of the Bills and Ravens on Thanksgiving is sounding everywhere. How could it be true? I don't know. I think it would be a good matchup. You know, I get my turkey in my system. You know, I'll probably wake up just in time. Hopefully it's a Thanksgiving evening game. That way I get my nap in while I watch the Cowboys play, because you know they're going to play on Thanksgiving. And ain't nobody trying to watch that. Anybody trying to watch it. Anyway. Bless Brian says, I want my Ravens scheduled to release ASAP. Yes, because I'm sick of all the cap fake schedule releases. It's hard to figure out and weed through the mess to figure out what is the true schedule going to look like for the Baltimore Ravens. And I liked how they did the reveal last year. They had all types of cameos, and it was all over the place. It was cool. Like, they sent it to Harbaugh's phone. It was something special. It was just really special how they revealed it last year. I'm looking forward to that. And looking forward to actually traveling to a game. Of course, I got to go talk to the financial department upstairs. And hopefully she approves of me going to a game. But we'll see how it goes down. All right. Bless says, the first, the worst, second, the best three, the anger bird couch. Yeah, I went off yesterday. Little dude got up underneath my skin. It's whatever, you know. Keep it rolling. If y'all see Camru, he's coming. He's just getting a bowl of something or walking a dog. Some type of excuse. He just on brother time. You know how it is. Just so y'all know, of course, we still, you know, some of y'all feel a certain type of way about it. He's still here. He's still here. He is still here, folks. But remember, I talked about the thing we were going to do for each show starting out is our, just a second, our motivational, I hope I spelled it right. Motivational moments. All right, so for our motivational moment, our motivation moment for the Couch Rider Report, it's simple. Hurt people. And so you have to think about it when it comes to life. You know, a lot of people want to see other people fail because they are probably in a state of failure in their lives. They can't stand to see somebody else eat, somebody else succeed along those lines. But also hurt people could also mean something else as well. You have to think about, let's say you're in a management position, or let's say you're a parent and you're hurting and you haven't identified that you have been hurting. how can you go through and help somebody else if you are hurting on the inside or the outside and you haven't taken care of you, taking care of the things that you need to take care of in order for you to be better for other people? You can't help somebody through this world if you're hurting on the inside yourself. And I know that the world, some of the people, some religions, they want us to be selfless. And I get that. I recognize that. And I actually practice a religion that it really encourages us to be selfless, to think of others before ourselves. But you must think about it when the oxygen mask comes down on the plane. What does the flight attendant say to do? They say, put your mask on first. Because you put your mask on first, you're able to actually then help somebody else. There's no way you can sit here and put this mask, they say, oh, the mask come down, I got you, fam. And you just pass out because of the fact that you should have put yours on first. So I'm asking you, I'm begging you, I'm challenging you to do self-care first before you go ahead and take care of somebody else. I'm still encouraging to help a friend, help your neighbor, but at the same time, making sure that you take care of self. And remember, all the wounds ain't exactly visible. They got the internal wounds as well. If you feel that you got to take a knee in life and let somebody else take the reins, it's not a weakness. Accepting sometimes that you can't handle it all. It's okay. It is just fine. You're going to be okay as long as you got people around you that love you, that support you. And I'm pretty sure you got a few of them in this room as well. Just make sure that you recognize the pain that you're going through, that and actually reaching out for that help. For those people who keep it all inside, they're going to hurt somebody because they're in charge of somebody more than likely. And whether it be a child, subordinate, a friend, you can't help them if you're not helping yourselves. Today, that is the motivational moments. We have the chosen one. He must be behind stage or something or picking up some soup, but he is behind the scene right now. We're just waiting for him to get into the chair. Let's see the comments we have here. All right. Keep my boys fired again. Cameroon's fired once again. It's funny. All right, so let's go back up here. So whoever says we don't need the Ravens schedule to know they would go 3-14. Oh man, you don't even know if you got a starting quarterback this time around, man. I'm hoping that they do time served as far as how last year's schedule went for Deshaun, but right now we just don't know. Y'all could end up losing those 6 games if he has a 6-game suspension because of off-field conduct. If they do their investigation and find him in a way of a violation of the conduct policy, then those might be 6 games that might put you at the bottom of the AFC North. Just saying. And let's be real. Everybody's putting Deshaun on this high pedestal. I just don't think he's there. I think he's in the top 10, but they put him at 2. And they ain't seen him play. They hadn't seen him play in 2 years, man. Come on. All right, so let's keep rolling. All right, so it's at Wilbert. I know we'll do better than the Browns. That's for sure. Eventually, Cameron was going to show up. I don't know how he turned on the camera and then was able to run off, actually get into the room and then run. Maybe he just, here he is. Ladies and gentlemen, the chosen one. Cameron, what's good?
Hot day. Case of the hot day. What's happening, man?
He said it is pie day, y'all. Pie day.
Pie day gonna have to be on Mondays if it's gonna be this tough to get here on Wednesdays, boy. Hey.
So you missed out on the motivational moment.
I heard a little something. Were you talking about mental health?
Yeah, just mental health, and then just like I said, some people actually want to see people hurt in this world, and so of course when they're hurt, that's when they're going to be hurt. You ever heard the expression like crabs in the barrel? Sometimes along those lines, but also mainly I was focusing on with self-care. If you want to take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of somebody else? Like I can't sit here and walk out of the house with a broken leg and expect to go help take somebody to the store. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I can get at least the minimal care of getting the splint, something along those lines to get it taken care of. So, but I think they like the segment.
Can I share something with you real quick?
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, go ahead.
It's just a saying that my cousin and I like to say, and it goes, it always goes back to, you want to treat others how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
I always say God has a sense of humor. So watch what you do and watch what you say. Don't do something for somebody expecting something back. Do it from the gen. You do it from your heart. If you're not gonna do it from your heart, don't do it at all.
Absolutely.
So, and if
I
you
like
treat
that.
somebody bad,
Yeah.
they may not get you back, but the Lord is always watching.
Oh
So
yeah. He's like, oh, I remember.
please.
All right, so a few of y'all liked it. Y'all said great speech. Thank you, appreciate it. And whoever says, I hope he's suspended and Baker wins the job back. You really love you some Baker. I don't know what is going on.
Hey, coming back. Wilbur back in the building. I ain't seen Wilbur in a minute.
Yeah, he was still trying to get Baker out of his situation that he's in right now. I don't know if he was trying to negotiate the terms himself with Carolina.
I think Jack is Wilbur's burner. I think that's what's. I think he got
No,
a.
you think Jack Clonkin was Wilbur? Yeah. Who knows? I don't know. I don't think Wilbur was that crazy. I
Travis walking in.
Jack.
When Travis come in, Jack is not too far behind.
Look, Jack went off a daggone deep end. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so Wilbur says that's why wide receivers don't want to play for Lamar because he treats them bad and can't expect good things. Good words, Cameron. Oh, he's trying to use your quote against you.
Cheers, sir.
Yeah, well played.
Mm-hmm.
Well played, sir. But no.
Touche, my man. Touche.
All right, so now that we have we've entertained that for a bit, let's go ahead and jump into what I want to talk about. So the position group that should be obvious that is going to be monster this year and should be able to help return the Ravens to a 2019 type form is that of the tight ends. And because right now we're looking at 6 on the roster, but I'm only going to talk about 5. And because I know one of them is definitely not going to be a lock to make anything on this roster. And, I'm just, it's sad, but at the same time, it's the truth. Right. And when you look at it, there's only so many slots available. So Tony Poggen is just not going to make the roster. Let's just call it what it is.
Right.
We'll start off, like tight ends. Y'all got to look at it like 13 personnel is a real thing. It's not just being used by the Ravens.
Nope.
If you go back and look at the 2020 Indianapolis Colts, they used 13 personnel, 8% of their plays. It was the 4th highest in the NFL. And guess who benefited off of that? This dude, Jonathan Taylor. Because they did that.
I mean, he was the lead rusher last year, was he not?
Yeah, he was leading rusher. And then, of course, in 2020, because of that 13 personnel, this guy had 1,169 yards, 11 touchdowns on the ground. I ain't saying it was all 13 personnel, but because of the changeup and adding those extra tight ends in there to be those mauling blockers that we need.
Especially in that second half. The legs is getting weary.
Yes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nobody wants that work when you're against a bunch of tight ends. It's just a matchup that's very hard to plan for. It's hard to recover from. And JT definitely benefited from that and rolled over everybody for the last 2 years because they saw that was a strength. Other teams are doing it. It's not just G-Ro. But I'm pretty sure once they saw that 2019 model, they said, we need to mimic something along these lines, which goes to let you know that guy would go get a job somewhere else if he left Baltimore. So just so and he catches all types of flack. He does. But what he does with tight ends is exceptional. And just to go over a couple other fun facts from 2019, our receivers didn't eat. I'll be honest, they did not eat. Willie Snead had 339 yards off of 31 receptions, had 5 touchdowns. Okay, pretty decent, right? As far as the 5 touchdowns, he probably could have got a few more yards. Hollywood, he wasn't even healthy that entire season, still got 7 TDs, 584 yards off of 41 receptions. That was 12 yards per catch. So, but the tight ends are the ones who ate. And the reason I say that is because combined, they had 125 receptions, 1,522 yards, and 12 touchdowns. So that was Hurst and Boyle getting basically the same amount of receptions, 30 and 31, with 349 and 321 yards respectively. And then both of them had 4 touchdowns amongst them. And, of course, Mandrews, dude, just diabetic monster, rolling around and he gets 852 yards and 10 touchdowns off of 64 receptions. And this is from 2019. I'm thinking that this team needs to revert back to that form, and it starts with this whole posse.
Hold on. I'm just going to ask you this question.
There's a
I don't
question.
want people to think that it's going to be, this is my only thing. I don't think it's going to be exactly that way because we do have a passing scheme now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, and then on top of that, we just go back to the receivers real quick. If you compare the top four, name the top four starting receivers, name the top four receivers in that group. Hollywood, Snead, who else is there?
The dude from Carolina, Roberts.
Roberts?
Yeah.
Who else?
I don't remember who else.
Can't remember nobody else, right? Who's this take those four?
Now, Chris Moore. Chris Moore, sorry.
Chris Moore. Oh, that's five. Okay, but just naming that wide receiver group, right? You name we can go 5. Okay, yeah. 5. Who we got right now? Bateman, right?
Yeah.
So let's Bateman Hollywood. Let's say that's a cancellation.
Okay.
We got Duvernay compared to Snead. Who would you take?
I'm taking dudes, man.
James, we ain't gonna ask no questions about James Prochet over anybody.
Yeah.
We know James is there. So basically what I'm trying to say is that even before I get to Wallace, do we have a better receiving core than we had then?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think 100% we have a better receiving core. Only thing I did like Seth Roberts. Don't get me wrong. I did like Seth Roberts.
No, Seth is good, but Seth, even if you go take Chris Moore out, because remember Chris Moore was off and on because he was injured a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you just keep Seth, and even with Seth,
Chris Moore was a camp warrior. That was all he was.
But he was great in special teams. He did decent sometimes. He was out there. But the point, what I'm saying is that regardless, I don't care if you keep Seth. If you just say top 4, or you have Chris, they're not better than what we have right now. Mm-hmm. The problem that we had that during 2019, those receivers could not get separation. The only one that can get separation was who? Hollywood. So we are in a better space right now. Mm-hmm. If we go back to that 2019 type style. Like that's why I'm gonna say it again. You marry that passing offense from last year to that running game and the scheme from 2019. Boy, you got a heck of a marriage right there.
Absolutely.
Unstoppable force. Unstoppable. You can't. And to be honest with you, if that happens, we gotta even worry about Lamar running the ball that much. Because he's not gonna have to.
Yeah. I'm gonna say you got him with Fort Jackson in front of him, you know.
At least
he's in the building. Let's go. She says, hey, Jermaine and Camrou, we will be Super Bowl 57 champs. Please don't talk me out of it. So I think you and Calais Campbell on the same page because he just got on the Rich Eisen show, I think today, and was talking about how he wouldn't come back if he didn't feel like this team was a contender for the title. If he said this team was one of those teams that was growing and had potential or something along those lines, he said he would have stayed retired. Him and his wife, they love Baltimore. They wanted the opportunity to compete. And they think that this is the place to actually go and get that title. He said he's a competitor, he's a dog, and he wants to get back at it and get a chance for a ring. So I'm with you. I think we are all gunning for that title. Everybody in here, in this room, even Wilbert secretly wants that title to come to Baltimore.
You said Xavier Kelly tore his Achilles in OTAs.
Is that why that's why they waived him?
I don't know. I didn't even know that he tore his Achilles.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know. He said,
"Yeah, I didn't know either." Good. Thanks for sharing, Chris. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I didn't even know that he tore his Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I didn't. Because I'm always on the app and they didn't mention anything. So
yeah,
maybe that's because he's not really a high profile player. But
Lisa said, "Don't start, Will, but I ain't having none of this drama today."
But to answer you to really answer that, Chris, I don't really think it's the field that has any, especially if it was more a knee, then yes, but Achilles, that could happen anytime. It could have been from anything. If he wasn't stretching the proper way, and the Achilles doesn't pop at that time, it's whatever you've been doing in the past. Your Achilles could get, and this is just for just regular people in general. Your Achilles could get bad if you don't have the right footwear on. It could happen if you know what I mean by right footwear. I mean like the insoles have to be correct.
Yeah, right. Like pronating, supinating. If you naturally pronate or naturally supinate, that could have an issue with it.
If your arch is, if you don't have an arch and your foot is flat, like anytime you put any
that could cause knee problems in general.
Yeah, so it could happen from anything. So I don't want, if it was knee, it's just, if you would have said that he had an ACL injury, then we might be had to talk about that field a little bit more. You know what I mean? But Achilles injuries, they are very random. Trust me, when mine happened, I'm blaming myself because I overworked myself. And when mine happened, I knew my Achilles was sore, but I was trying to, it was sore for like at least a good 2 weeks. And I was ignoring it. You know what I mean? I was just like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to stretch. And then I didn't even ice. I was just like, whatever. And then when it happened is when I really started doing explosive stuff. And that's when it just, boom. I thought somebody kicked me in the back of my leg, bro. I was like, and I knew as soon as it happened, I knew exactly what it was. Thank God I did stretch a lot because the doctor said I tore the main tendon. So it was like a split. It wasn't like a normal Achilles tear where
okay,
you can't get up. I walked out of the gym. I never got injured playing college ball. Never got injured in high school other than my broken pinky. Other than that, I played, no injuries. I go play pickup ball, pickup basketball, and then there you go. Boom. Never. I was like, this is some BS right here. But I was tight. I ain't gonna reminisce on that. Anyway. All right. That's how it happened. It is random though. Okay.
Yeah. So we're going in, folks. We're going in. So we're gonna start off with the guy. This guy came out of San Jose State. He's 25 years old. He's in his third season, but he's got his second season with us. He's 6'5", 249 pounds, kind of an underrated player. We thought some things were going to happen last year for us with him, but it just didn't pan out that way. And he's got a really big time uphill climb to make this roster, and that is Josh Oliver. So Josh is, he's one of those guys who's got the athleticism. We're looking at a guy who could have been paired up with Mandrews, and if they'd have ran that personnel, if they'd have had that extra tight end to be that big time blocker all season and switch the personnel up that way, then Josh would have been able to benefit out of that type of offense. He's got good balance. He's got good size, good speed, a solid catch radius, some lanky arms, and big hands. His edge blocking skills are what makes him the most appealing because he has some blocking ability, and he's just got an uphill battle to make the roster. In 2021, he had 15 targets, 9 catches for 66 yards, and he also had a fumble. So, that doesn't look too good when you're not getting all the action, and then you still have a fumble. He's just one of those guys that, it's going to be a struggle. He's going to have to come in there and show up so big that he has to beat out Charlie Kolar or Isaiah Likely, convincingly, to make this roster for them to actually make that 5th spot.
Yeah, well, they're not cutting no 4th round.
Nah, they're not. And
I think that if we gotta keep it, I wouldn't be surprised the way things are going right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we keep 5, and just because I know we definitely keeping 4.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if we keep 5. Nick Boyle I know when we're gonna get to him. He's the one that I'm worried about. I don't know where he is with that knee, man. That was a terrible injury. I'm still upset with that hit because I thought
based on that contract, he's sticking around because that was he signed that contract. Was it early last year, right?
No, not last year. It was right after the 20. I want to say right after the right after the 2019 season, I believe. He signed that contract.
Let me look that up.
Yeah, it wasn't the year he got hurt. It was the year before. So the year he got hurt in the COVID, he got hurt during the COVID season. So 2019, he got the new contract after the season was over, and then he got hurt during that time during the season. That was a horrible tackle. I was disgusted, bro. I was like, dang, going. He had to hit him that low. Like he couldn't even plan it. He didn't get a chance to even plant his foot. But it was raining. It's football. It happened. But go ahead.
I'm still looking it up, man. You can keep talking. I'm trying to look at that salary.
Yeah,
Big Boyle.
with this is Josh Oliver's speed. Yeah, he Josh Oliver. He's a sneaky win in some form of fashion because if any of them could add that blocking ability, don't have to be as great as Nick Boyle, but be just good enough, you know. And they dial back some of the stuff with Patrick Ricard. I think that being the fact that he really didn't play his first 2 years in Jacksonville because of the injuries that he did have, and this is his first full season, I kind of looked at it like it's almost like a rookie season for him, you know, being the fact that this is the first time he played the full season of football, opposed to not at all in Jacksonville. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do keep him. Somebody
got to go to the practice squad or something, right?
I get stashed, bro. You can't. He too good to be on the practice squad. He somebody snatching him quick. Somebody gets stashed though. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Let's see what Lisa has here to say about it. She says Josh Oliver has the speed to catch TDs and enough juice in the tank. I agree.
He does.
And I think there's a reason that he got brought over from Jacksonville. I think Eric DeCosta saw something there.
As long as he keep holding on to that ball.
Josh Oliver in St. Louis will be nasty, but St. Louis ain't got a team. I mean, if he goes down there, he ain't gonna do him to get shot in St. Louis. Just saying. I mean, you've been to St. Louis. There's a reason they moved that team because they would trade. They had St. Louis was so rough.
Why you get no bread? You know he's been in LA.
St. Louis was so rough. They had our Air Force members, our medics, training for Iraq in St. Louis because they knew how many gunshot wounds that they could deal with on a normal day basis. Anyway,
man.
Yeah, well, Los Angeles, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
Get no bread. Get no. Go ahead.
Yo, house music, man. What's good? This is my cousin Aaron up in here, man.
Right, what happened? What's happening?
And then, of course, Brooke is in the building.
Brooke, your job.
Hour 20?
Hour 20.
Hour 20.
Good that. So just an hour for you, Brooke, because we already 27 in.
Yeah. She gonna fall asleep. She gonna fall asleep at 45. Lisa says you're forgiven, Brandon. Okay, for the St. Louis. And let's see here. So Charlie Kolar and Darren Waller is both 6'6" and had different 40s. Yes. So I think Charlie had like a 4.7 type 40, and of course Waller was burning.
But you can't compare Jay. You can't compare them two because remember Waller was a receiver coming out.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Ran a 4.4. He was just a freak. You know, he's a freak of nature that coming out that height running the 4.4. But every receiver out of Georgia Tech running low 4, sub 4 somewhere.
Oh yeah,
one of them. Thomas
got the same offense as Megatron, I believe, right?
Yeah, Calvin Johnson came from there. I couldn't believe they wanted. I was like Georgia Tech. I was like, wow.
I think Demarius Thomas came out of there too, right?
Thomas, another one running 4.4, 4.3.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
that's when will St. Louis ever get an NFL team of their own guys? If they have an expansion, I think they would probably be one of the teams who get to debate on getting the team, but I don't know if they'll get one again because I'll be honest with you, when they were there in St. Louis, the tickets were being sold for like $27 a seat, and you were getting like decent seats, and that was their regular season tickets. I was just like, hey, I want to go to an NFL game. And you could go to a St. Louis regular season game for $27 to get I mean, you probably nosebleeds, but still nosebleeds for anything for $27 to get in the stadium. That's pretty solid.
That was after Kurt Warner, right?
That was it was after the Greatest Show on Turf. So that was like 2006 time frame. Let's see. Brooke says, y'all gonna listen to me this time when I say
yes, we will. Yes.
We'll listen. We'll listen.
Do your job, woman. Do your job, bro.
Cuzzo said, what's good, man? All right, so we're going to keep rolling. So we just went over Josh Oliver. Like I said, this is one guy who's got an uphill battle. He's got good size, long arms. He's prototypical. He just needs that opportunity, and he's got to fight for it in camp. He's going to fight his butt off, man. All right, let's keep rolling. We're going to move over to the next guy. So this guy, you just got picked up this year. So 128th overall pick, 6'6", 257 pounds. Here's a key note on this. You remember how Eric DeCosta was always about his Oklahoma guys, right?
Mm.
Well, he got one because this guy is actually from Oklahoma, even though he played for Iowa State.
Right.
And that is Charlie Kolar. So he's not that fast, but he's got a solid frame. He's got good athleticism. Draftniks actually had him rated as one of the top tight ends in the draft this year.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but they had him pretty high up there. When I go look at his tape, I mean, he has a decent skill set. He's got some athleticism. Catching the ball is not foreign to him. Blocking is this thing. He really is into blocking. He's got smooth route running. He's a jump ball type of tight end. He's got good change of direction. He finds the soft spots in defenses. He's got a short and intermediate game is where he really thrives. And they say he's an elite blocker. I'm like, wow. So through 2021, he had 12 games, 62 receptions, 756 yards, 6 touchdowns, and that was 12.2 yards per catch. They say he's a tough footballer with consistent hands, and he's got 34.5-inch arms, and then he's got 10-inch hands. So I think somebody did a pretty good example about, like, with a piece of paper, you're going to see like 8 inches. You put your hand across it, like say a piece of paper, and you can say, okay, that's 8 inches. So I'm thinking this probably ain't regular paper rule, whatever. But just imagine somebody putting their hand across a sheet. Usually, the average person can put their hand across the sheet, and then that's 8 inches. But most of the time, NFL tight ends and linemen, their hands will go all the way where my thumb is, all the way across the page while it's touching the pinky. And that's kind of let you know what type of catch radius that they have.
Yeah.
What do you think about Charlie?
From the reports I've been reading and hearing about, he's like they said that he moves like a lot like Dennis Pitta. I hope he doesn't get injured like Dennis Pitta.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Yeah, don't need that at all. I mean, of course, that hip thing was just a freak of nature, but you don't need that. But I think that he said that he tried to model his game after Mark Andrews because that's his favorite tight end. He always try to model his game after him. But on top of that, to go along with that, I think that if he is like Pitta, we got something. We got something good because we got different type of flavors at the tight end position.
Absolutely,
and that's a good thing but I think he's definitely a little bit quicker from what I see on tape from in college. And we'll see what happens in the pros, but seems to be a little bit quicker. So go ahead.
My brother is in the building. He said, "Gee, I just get it right. Don't tangle and twist it." Yes, sir. That's something we used to say back there in high school, man. It was our thing. Hey, he said, "He in the building for sure." Yeah. So Big Red says Josh Oliver got butterfingers.
Nah, Reg, you wrong on that one.
Yeah, I didn't catch the. I didn't see what the drops are, but he did have the one fumble.
The drop that he had, and I think that really wasn't even a drop. He was reaching out for that touchdown that Lamar tried to throw him in the first game of the season. It was just a little bit out of his reach.
Yeah,
but that's just all the time. And I don't know about that one, Reg. I don't know what's up, by the way, brother, but I don't know about that one. By the way.
So Lisa says Charlie Kolar is tall enough to grab a pass. Watch out for Charlie Kolar. Okay, yeah, you said 6'6", 257. I'm good. We like the prototypical size.
That's his game. He a jump ball king, they call him.
You talking about the fumble? He had one fumble. He had another fumble?
He had one he recovered. And he had
okay, so must have been one fumble loss. Okay.
Yeah, one fumble loss, but he had one he recovered. But he just got that's just like a running back. You gotta learn how to hold the ball.
Yeah, scared to rock.
The Hawks don't play around.
Yeah. He was like, "Hey, I got that basement. You ready? I got a new vacant position. I let Tyson out, so there's a new spot that he can go put somebody else in. You know what I mean?
You're gonna learn how to hold on to that ball. Learn how to hold on to that rock, man.
Hold on, Big Reg and his drama. All right, so let's move forward here. So we just talked about Charlie. I think Charlie's going to be an excellent ad. If he's got anything similar to what Dennis Pitta is, that is excellent.
He's a better blocker than Dennis Pitta, so that's a plus because Pitta can block.
Yes,
Pitta was horrible. I don't care what anybody say. He couldn't block worth nothing.
Yeah.
He couldn't block. He couldn't even block DBs. He was horrible blocking.
Yeah, I mean, that the hip thing that probably gets you to thinking like, all right, look, I don't want to get, I'm kind of fragile, and I'm here for pass catching.
Even before the hip thing, when we
Yeah.
was on the Super Bowl run, he couldn't block nobody.
Oh man,
he was. That's why he was notorious for coming out on. Anytime we had a second and long or a third down, Pitt was out there. Pitt wasn't out there on the first down because he couldn't block nobody.
So the thing about Charlie and with Isaiah Likely, every time that Baltimore doubles down on tight ends when they draft them, the second one is the one that usually succeeds. So I'm hoping that he breaks the mold and says, you know what, I'm going to be that dude, or I'm going to be one of the dudes.
I hope it's only that way because usually they always in two different rounds.
Yeah.
The first round draft pick, like Ed Dixon was the first round draft pick, wasn't he?
I don't think he was first.
I think he was the first round draft pick.
We went that high on that?
It was like third or fourth. It's always like
I thought he was later.
Third. Yeah, he was. I think Ed was a first round draft pick.
I remember us spending the first round draft pick unless it was Hayden Hurst. I thought that was the only one we spent the first on, and of course Todd Heath. But yeah. So let's see.
I looked that up for me.
I got to look that up, man.
Yeah, I think he was a first round draft pick if I'm not mistaken. But because he was like the fastest tight end out there. Everybody was looking for another.
He was a third round 2010 draft.
Who?
Ed Dixon, yeah.
But Pitter wasn't drafted to like the fourth round.
Yeah, he was drafted after him, and then of course he showed up.
It's always around. If you're in the same round, we never got two tight ends in the same round. So hopefully the fact that they're in the same round, we good. So
that was Joe Cool. Joe Cool got cool with Pitter, and they became besties, and that's kind of how that chemistry ended up happening. And it's just funny how when you hang out off the field, when you're good friends with a guy like that, or when you're good friends with your quarterback, how that relates to the chemistry that y'all have.
Yeah.
So I think that's magnificent there. So let's go into the next guy. So we talked about Josh. We talked about Charlie. This guy we're very familiar with.
Wait, you didn't say too much about Josh. You just skipped over. You didn't get Likely no love.
I gave Josh a lot of love, man. I say he was underrated. He got uphill climb.
You talking about Likely? You ain't say much about Likely.
I didn't go to Likely yet.
I didn't even come up there, brother.
I didn't go to Likely. Hang on now. Likely's down the list. So we got Josh, we got Charlie. We'll go. I said we're about to go into this next one, and then we got
right to the OG. Huh? You went right to the OG. You just forgot about Likely.
No. So I'm going in a like I guess in the order of what I think is going to be explosive.
Okay.
The most explosive. So or I guess I say most. Should I not even say explosive? Biggest contributors, whether it be blocking or passing. I'm thinking biggest contributors in my mind. I say you got Oliver at the bottom, of course, if he makes the roster, uphill climb. Charlie, and then, of course, everybody's falling in love with Isaiah, but Nick is sitting there underneath, and he's got to actually show that he's healthy and able to come back. But if he comes back, I think they're still falling in love with this Isaiah Likely deal. And then I got, of course, Mandrew sitting at the top of the kingdom or whatever, owning the kingdom. All right, let's pay some bills. Let's see what these guys say. Said Hurst, Kia, probably kicking himself. He should have stayed. Yeah, if he didn't sit there and have that pride issue, he would have stayed, and Baltimore would have still been running 13. And I think, honestly, it would have looked a lot better.
But then again, he would have been going anyway by this time.
Because we would have had to pay him.
Yeah, option. So
technically, we ain't paying nobody. We don't pay nobody.
Yeah, we'd have been back to square one anyway. So
D3 says probably so he's correct himself, saying probably kicking himself. Lisa says Isaiah Likely has 80. Charlie Kolar has 88. Yep. Yeah. Got the numbers. Right. Oh yeah, 88. There it is. There's your Pitter.
Well, that's
Lord. Cracker Jack is back.
No, but that's Charlie's college number 2. So
Cracker Jack is back. Here you go. Here you go, y'all. So
Wilbur disappears and Jack comes in the door.
Mm-hmm. That is kind of weird. Is Wilbur in the room?
No, at all.
2019 formula doesn't work. Yeah, this is the same 2019 offense that got shut down by the Titans in the layoffs, who weren't even a top 20 defense. Out of here. Look, I ain't finna dispel this. You're gonna start paying for this nonsense. Anyway. The boys got to stay healthy. And then D3 says the offense in 2019 didn't get shut down by the Titans. All the receivers except for Hollywood had the drops. Lamar had over 500 total yards. That is very true. I think Earl Thomas is one of the reasons we lost that game because he got caught.
Big reason. Yeah, big reason.
Yeah, he got caught peeking, and he ended up being on a blocking post for King Henry.
You get ushered down the field by the running back.
Yeah,
you the biggest reason.
Yeah, so early he gave up a big old touchdown early because he shouldn't have been. He should have been on his assignment, which he was not on. And then of course that gave up a big TD.
Give me an excuse. Forget that TD. Give me an excuse why you get ushered down the field when he slapped.
He got turned all the way around. He was like, "Man, what you gonna just turn around and be part of my blocking crew for me, bro?" He's like, "Watch out, little man. Watch out. Watch out." All right, so Lisa says Tyler Linderbaum wore 65 at Iowa. He's wearing 64. Of course, he can't wear 65 because Pat McCarry has 65, I believe.
It's like, nah.
All right, so Crackerjack is getting ignored. Let's keep rolling.
Jack.
So Kolar was lined up in the slot college sometimes and worked Ravens, got 50 slot wide receivers. Jay, are you new here?
What did he say?
You remember Jay? I don't remember Jay if Jay was new here or not.
I'm lost. I'm sorry. I missed one. I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry.
All right, so it looks like he's saying
the foolery of Jack on the side. Go ahead.
Oh, are we going back to? Are we reading Crackerjacks?
No, we weren't reading Jacks. I was reading it, but I don't want to entertain none of the foolery. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So anyway, so Jay, welcome, man. Like I said, I don't know if you're new to the show, but I appreciate you coming through. Make sure you hit the like, hit the bell. Hit that subscribe and smack that bell so you know what's going down. He's saying Kolar was lined up in the slot in college sometimes and worked Ravens. So basically, if we got him lined up in the slot, it's going to give definitely a different appearance. I couldn't imagine being a nickel corner coming up against a guy that's 6'6", 256 pounds, and planning to hold my own. The average nickel is what, 5'11", 5'10", something on those lines. You want that small, shifty guy.
He still ain't going to eat. He's not going to be able to do nothing.
Yeah, imagine a Tavon Young lining up against a Kolar. That is going to be a hectic match. It's going to be a bad day.
I'm just saying, as far as the way he moves, he reminds me of Grump more than he reminds me of Pitta. But they said his smoothness, as far as him finding his way around the field, reminds him of Pitta.
Okay.
I'm going by. We haven't seen the rookie minicamp, so they're talking about the rookie minicamp. I'm going by what I saw on tape. He just reminds me, I guess, the way he runs, and he's always, high pointing the ball. He just reminds me of Grunk. Grunk was 6'6", big dude. You know what I mean? That could block.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm thinking about it. But I could be totally wrong on that. Oh, it'd be nice if he turned into a Grunk. We don't have a Grunk.
I'll be beast.
So
actually, Adit saying that Mandrews and Kolar are kind of alike. He's saying he won't put up the 1,000 yards though, but he plays like him. He says likely Andrews, Boyle, and Kolar.
Pitta than Andrews. They say he looked more like Pitta than Andrews.
Okay.
I'm just going by what they said at rookie minicamp. They say he looked more like Pitta.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Pitta, I like Pitta. Yeah. But Andrews is a daggone dog. This dude was a former high school wide receiver, and he was monstering people in high school, man. I love watching that dude high school tape, man.
Yeah, he's
same things here.
We haven't had a tight end like him.
No,
I can't compare him to anybody. He's different. Go ahead.
So let's see. Oh, I think Crackerjack want to talk to you. He's saying, stop using ET as a scapegoat. WTF. Henry had 200 yards rushing. With those 200 yards only in Earl Thomas.
The whole defense, we played a horrible game. What on Jack? Who you a fan of, bro? We know what happened. Why are we still on the path? We don't care.
I think he was trying to make a point earlier, trying to say it was on the offense, but then he goes and says it, and he actually clarified our point and said that it's the defense. It was clear.
I'm gonna call Jack Angry Man. That's every time Jack come in here, I'm gonna call it's the Angry Man. Angry Man is back here. Angry Man for Martin. That's Angry Man. He always
he'll be known as Cracker Jack because he on that crack. Anyway, so Tough Puppy's in the building. What's good, Tough Puppy? You've been bouncing around. I saw you on Lunch Break Hot Take earlier. 2019 defense got torn apart by Tennessee. Yeah. So y'all gonna hold on to that for a bit, ain't you?
Discuss that, but why we still on? I'm trying to maybe because we get into this late.
All right.
Yeah, I was just using that as an example.
Yeah.
We were talking about the defense.
Okay.
I don't know why we still on 2019.
Yeah, they harping on that. It looks like it just struck a chord with them. A few people got a little hurt behind it.
Yeah.
We got to let it go. Let it go.
LIG, that whole thing, man. Let it go. We
All
good.
right. As Kolar watched Andrews tape and going back to Oklahoma. Like I said, yeah, with him being from Oklahoma, I can imagine him watching that Oklahoma tape.
Yeah, absolutely.
D3 says, Jack, but I thought pocket passes don't get hurt. Yeah, they
Angry
do.
Man, D3. You got to call him Angry Man. Can't call him Jack.
Hey, Angry Man. So anyway, so moving forward away from that topic, let's see here. We are still on tight end, so we are going into the next guy. Like I said, we familiar with him. You know, we love the guy. He's got a contract. He's going to be under contract until 2024. This year, he's got a $7 million cap number. I think he's only going to pay $5 million, but he's getting paid $7 million hit on the cap. I'm talking about Nick Boyle. He loves the block. He's got some pass catching ability. We know what he can do as far as being at that third tight end as far as the pass catching ability. When he was in 2019, he had 321 yards and 2 touchdowns off of 31 receptions. He wasn't on the field. When he's not on the field, you already know that it's going to be more likely, probably 90% it's a pass. But this year, if Nick Boyle is on the field, we know 90% of the time it's going to be a run. Because he is down to block. That's the reason the Ravens signed him. I remember when back in 2018 or 19, I was like, why are we signing this dude? But then I remembered, I was like, all right, with tight ends, there are stats that you just don't see.
Yeah.
You got to go back to the tape to look at those type of stats, those type of blocks, because he was pulling big boy blocks out of his butt. And I think that Baltimore saw that, and that's why they signed him to that first deal. And they recognized that you have to have a combination of a pass catcher and a run blocker.
Yeah, I mean, remember him and Max Williams came in together, and I guess by the third season, before they even got to that contract year, they did decide to draft Hayden Hurst and Andrews. They had Nick Boyle. The NFL had Nick Boyle as the number 1 blocking tight end.
Wait a minute. So Max Williams was a first rounder, right? For the Ravens, right?
Second round.
Okay, so yeah. And then but he was drafted. Max was drafted before Boyle.
Yep.
So once again, the second guy prevails.
Boyle was in the 4th round. He was in the 4th round.
Yeah, so the second guy prevails again. Yeah. But this is his 8th season. Nick is basically, I mean, when you hit your 8th season, it's basically like you hit your 30s. I know he's 29 years old, but it's right up against the wire. Probably got a little bit of shelf life left. And of course, he might have that extra season in him because he only played a couple of games last year before he was injured. So we're hoping he comes back healthy and is able to give us a little bit more left in the tank.
About that knee, man.
Yeah,
that knee is right. I would hate for somebody to have to retire because of injury. Like I think that's the worst way in any sport for anybody to go out. I don't care what sport it is. I would hate for you to have to retire that way. You got too many concussions, or you got this, or you got like I hated the fact that Stokely, when he came back and he had to call it quits because he had got another concussion. Like that was like it was sad. You know what I mean? You don't want to go out. You want to go out under your own power.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to go on your terms, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So
so like in 2020, he didn't even play the full season. He played 9 games and then he had 14 receptions, 113 yards, and then 2 touchdowns, but it was 12.6 yards per catch. So, like I said, the dude can catch. It's just more than likely they want him with those opportunities where he's blocking. Let's see here. I think, did I miss something on one of our guys? And nope. All right, so we're going to keep rolling. So that is Nick Boyle. We're all familiar with Nick. Let's keep rolling it down to another guy who's going to be a major contributor for this team. That was the pick 139 in the NFL draft this year. Isaiah Likely, 6'4", 240 pounds, coming out of Coastal Carolina. He's one of the most decked out Sunbelt players or Sunbelt athletes to come out of that daggone Sunbelt conference in years. So he was the 2020 All Sunbelt first team honors. He led the Sunbelt in receptions for tight ends. He had the FWAA second team All-American award. He's got the stop and go glitch like on Madden. You know, I don't know if y'all seen that stop and go glitch, but he has that skill set, which is kind of weird for him to be able to have that type of ability with that size. So he's swift. Tight end screens are money for him. That's kind of what I was looking for. I was like, I remember one of these tight ends was great with tight end screens, but that is where his home is with those tight end screens. He's not that great of a blocker, but he's got good hands, solid speed. He tracks the deep ball pretty well, and he's faster than his 4.8 speed. That the only thing that we can track on as far as the 40 time. I don't think he ran in the combine.
What he ran like? I think he ran like a 4.8. Did he in the 40?
Yeah, but I don't think he ran it at the combine. I think that's just the last time somebody has actually tracked his speed.
Yeah,
so his on-field speed is a lot faster.
Yeah, he does. He's just another person that don't know how to run the 40 the proper way.
Yeah, and really he's one of those guys that you see him on the field, you be like, all right, that's more than 4. That's more than 4.8.
Yeah, he's moving. Especially if you got that type of wiggle, you moving a little bit.
Absolutely. So they did say, as far as his review goes, that he needs a little bit more dog in him when going up for the 50-50 balls. So if he can climb that ladder a little bit more aggressively, then you'll see like, hey, this guy's going to be great for the Baltimore Ravens. And it'll come. It will come.
2.0. I'm saying it right now. That's Shannon Sharp 2.0. Mark my words.
Shannon Sharp 2.0. That is a huge compliment.
Hey, nobody thought Shannon was going to be anything coming out. Shannon was like a 5th round pick, wasn't he?
Ooh, somebody got a different comparison.
No, nah. I'm not even thinking about Miles Boykin. This dude is nice. And Shannon Sharp 2.0. Trust what I'm telling you. He can play, and he can block. He's a good blocker. He's not afraid to block. He's a good blocker. They used him a lot of times. If you watch his tape,
get them likes up, baby.
It was back. Oh, well, I guess that's not his burner.
I told you, man. Wilbur got a good heart. Cracker Jack ain't that good heart.
Likely is nowhere near another Miles Boykin. Likely is Shannon Sharp 2.0. Tell him with Shannon, you can split him out as a receiver. You can play him as tight end. He has that same body structure, and he has that same type of speed. He'll run away from you. Likely he ran away from a lot of DBs. And then they played in what ball game? I think they played in, and like he had a catch for like 50 yards or something like that. It was something like ridiculous.
Oh wow!
And it was off a slant or something like that, but he just took it to the house. So
I don't know. I just know that in his 13 games he had that was 2021.
It was like cap. Okay.
Yeah.
I watched, brother. I watched.
So that's So Delicious says not at first. He was mad as heck we took another tight end, but after watching the stuff on Likely, he's very excited to see him in the offense. So after watching the tape, you just start to see highlights with this guy. You're just like, okay, well that was impressive. Oh, that was another one.
I'm sorry.
Huh?
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was just he just seemed like he's a phenomenal player that needs those opportunities here. Let's get those screen games going, because I know we don't do that many screens, but if he can. If they can draw something up specifically for him out of 13 personnel with a screen, it just spells trouble. Because if you can just hold for a second as an offensive lineman long enough for that screen to come down, and you get to go knock guys around that are like probably half your size, it's just going to be fun for the offensive line. It's going to be fun for the tight ends. I can't wait to see something along those lines.
There ain't that many Kyle Hamiltons out there that can cover him. So
that's true.
he gonna be a problem. He's gonna be a matchup problem.
So what you disagree with, Lisa? That you said Boyle's not in his prime. Lisa says he is. I don't know. It could, like, we got to see. I mean, I got to, it's just a show me thing. It's a show me thing, folks.
What, talking about Nick Boyle?
Yeah.
He just got to be. Is that knee healthy, man? And you can tell.
This is year 8.
I mean. Well, Jason Witten was never fast and nothing like that. He just knew how to get open. But I'm just saying, as far as his health, Jason Witten never looked like he was in his prime. How many years did he play? That's But the thing, all I'm saying is that knee, if that knee is not right, what is he going to do? What can he do? Because he really wasn't able to give his all. Every game the first game he suited up for was the Chicago game. He had one catch, and one he was going to get another one, but he couldn't even reach out for it because he couldn't move.
Yep.
So they took him off the field. Then they came back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to Likely, he's saying Tough Puppy heard that Likely runs a 4.5. I could see something like that based on his field speed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
Well, here we go. So you heard the Ravens are after Jarvis. So everybody's hearing the Ravens are after Jarvis, but honestly, like
He said,
why, like I guess the question is why aren't they pulling the trigger? So I'm hearing this from. So first we heard from La Cap 4. Then we heard from some guy that wasn't even a blue check who was in Cleveland. He was I think he's a beat writer for. No, he was a writer for 27 Sports, 24/7 Sports. He's got like about 20,000 followers. He's the one that posted it first, and saying that they may be interested in Jarvis Landry. But then Jason Law Cap 4 comes through and says it. Ian Rappaport basically put it on repeater saying per source when he knows that Cap 4 is his source. and then everybody else started to roll through and say the exact same thing. If we're so interested in him, why ain't he signed?
we can't afford him. That's the biggest reason why he ain't signed. We don't have the money.
And they probably just sit here looking at Prochet like, this is the guy he modeled his game after.
Yeah, but
his entire game after
we do need a veteran receiver. I mean, I can agree. I agree with you. I also agree that we are going to need a veteran presence. Like they even talked to Quadre on NFL Now. We do, and even Just was saying it to us before when he was on the show, KT.
So go lift it. I know you like looking at Sip the tally, right? Sip put a video out today.
Oh, Sip video is on point. Like let him eat. You're right, let him eat. But you still gonna. If we got Landry, I'm gonna be honest with you. Having Landry there will be way like the level of him and Sammy Watkins.
I'm about to say, but then, like last year, we thought the same thing about Sammy, right?
No, but his level is totally different. The reason being, I'm not saying anything negative about Sammy. I'm just saying as far as leadership wise.
Yeah,
Landry's his everybody's not a born leader. Landry has that in him. He's like that. The only reason that whole Cleveland offense changed as far as like the receivers, the way they were doing things, because he got on them he got on. That's way before Odell got there. Mm-hmm. He was like, yo, you gotta want this. Like he's just different. He built different. He is a Raven. He is a Raven as far as the way he runs his routes and catch after the run. He's definitely worth it. But can you get first of all, can you get him?
Hold up. Landry asking for 20 mil, but it's May and nobody wants to pay over 10 for him. He wasn't even going to get 14.
I don't know.
In Cleveland, I think they cut him because it was a $14 million number, and they gave that money over to Cooper.
I think it was actually like 19.
19? Okay.
I think it was a little high. I think it was like maybe 18.5. It was a little higher than that.
Yeah.
That they didn't,
Man, he wanted that bag. I mean, he gonna have to go to a garbage team, pretty much.
We don't have that cap space.
And we got that cash. And I know he wanted to go home to New Orleans, but you know how New Orleans is. They already got enough on the credit card.
Yeah, he don't want a 1-year deal. I'm sure he's tired of being traded. He went from Miami to Cleveland.
Yeah.
And he going to another stop. I'm sure he wanted another. He trying to cash in one more time. But I think he thought he was going to go back to Cleveland, and then Cleveland was like, no, they don't want him.
Yeah, they want to put him there. And so unless he takes a pay cut, Prochet's the dude. Y'all got to trust in the dude. Prochet coming, man. He coming. He said, don't be a fan later. Hop on now, folks. Get down to the channel. Hashtag channel 3. Hashtag channel 3. Anyway, so Tough Puppy saying Landry would be our starting slot and that's the thing. That's why I don't want him here, because it's not going to give Prochet his opportunity.
I don't think it's going to stop him. I don't think it's going to stop. I just think we need a veteran. I don't know how. We just need a veteran receiver. Whether it's going to be for a 2-year deal.
See, when it comes to skills positions, I say just let them fly. Like if we needed like a veteran edge or veteran D tackle or veteran offensive lineman, cool. But when it comes to skills positions, let them guys play early.
Bro, we have
no. Worst that could happen if you let them play early.
I understand that, but we only got 4 receivers. We got 4 that's signed to the team. 4.
Okay.
We got to at least come out there. God forbid if any of them get injured, we sick. So we're gonna have to at least sign 2.
But I mean, what about all these guys you draft? All these guys, these undrafted free agents.
Bringing them
What
in,
about
though,
your Devin Williams and your Makai Polk, and
I
those
hope
guys.
one of them make it. I don't think both of them gonna make it. Maybe Ben Victor might make it. I'm not disagreeing with you, but at the same time, broke up here.
Pulling me over there, man. You do to me.
No, at the same time, we gotta worry about like when we make it to the. I'm not gonna say if when we make it to the postseason, right?
Right.
We just need somebody that's gonna be on that level. None of our receivers. I mean, well, O'Shea didn't play when we played in the postseason. That Duvernay played, but he didn't really play. That was his first time. So we're just very young. So having one veteran, I don't care if he's starting or not. I don't care if it's Julio. I'd rather have him in there, somebody that's going to help. Like he ain't got to start. Whoever we bring in, if you bring in Julio, he don't have to start. You just bring him in when you need him, but you need somebody in there that's going to help set the tone for that room to help them out.
If Julio could stay healthy, I wouldn't mind having him here. Like,
I don't care if he stay healthy. I don't care if he stay healthy. I mean,
it's the most important thing. Your biggest ability is your availability.
No. You hear what I'm saying? I don't care if he stay healthy. I need the leadership.
Yeah,
we ain't got no leadership. You understand what I'm saying? It's just like that's the only reason RG3 stayed around for as long as he did. Not because he was any good. And there's no knock on him. Lamar needed the leadership. He needed somebody that was going to help him because Flacco didn't help him.
Yeah.
Even when he was a rookie, Flacco didn't help him.
No.
RG3 was the only one that was in his ear.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that was why he was brought in initially, because I think they had this plan. They had this plan rolled out from I think it was February timeframe.
Right. And RG3 was willing to be there. I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna help him. So somebody gotta be there. You don't have to bring somebody in to take somebody's spot. You just gotta bring somebody in to coach them up on the field. Just like when we brought back Webby when Tavon was young.
Yeah.
Right? When Tavon was young. Tavon young. I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop rhyming on here.
That bars.
Yeah, I don't think I disagree with the fact that Justin Houston is more. I'm gonna tell you why I disagree with that in a second. The reason I'm saying that is because you need somebody that's going to be able to talk to them. We don't need anybody in the tight end room. Nick Ball is still there, right? Yeah. He's been through it, but Mark Andrews is now going into his 50. He's a veteran.
Yeah, I say he's a beast. I say top tier tight end in the league. Top 2, and he ain't 2.
Right. Once you hit 4 years, you're a veteran anyway. So you on in your 5th season. You a vet. We don't need any help there. And that wide receiver room is young. We got 3-year players that have not started. And now they were all starting. They were starting for 3 years, all 3 of them, or any of them were starting, then it'd be different. I would if Hollywood wasn't gone, I would say we don't need him. But the fact that's the only reason I'm saying. Not because we need somebody to start. We don't need anybody to take anybody's spot. We need somebody that can help them. Like, you got to have a coach on the field. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Like, we don't need Julio to give us every game. You can play 20% of the snaps, bro. You ain't got to play all this. Because that's
he's more like an AJ Green role down there.
That's what that's where the injury's going. You just play 20% of the snaps, bro. You don't have to.
You don't pay for it.
The reason I'm saying what I said about Justin, I think obviously we probably gonna bring him back. But the reason I say we don't is because you got Calais there. And you have Tyus Bowser there. Now we may need him because we have injuries, yes. Mm-hmm. But again, I think Tyus would be ready. And David Ajabo is playing this year. I don't know why people keep saying, well, he might not. It's big. It's a big difference from an athletic outside linebacker to an offensive lineman. Talking about James, that's always injured.
Yeah, give me just a second here. So, Jack says if Eric Bieniemy.
Oh, that ain't Jack. That's an angry man. Angry man. Go ahead, angry man.
Yeah, angry man says if Eric Bieniemy wanted to come coach for us, would you fire Giro? I'm glad you. Thanks for the $5 that's going to go to Cameron's QT fund. Also, just so y'all know, we just got authorized for the super stickers. So we have super stickers that apparently it's in your chat somewhere that you can click on that versus actually saying words. There's like emojis, like I don't know if they got the slaps on there, but it'd be funny if you had like a emoji super sticker slap or something like that. But I think they do the same thing as the super chats. So I appreciate that, man. What are your thoughts on the Eric Bieniemy coming here?
I love Eric Bieniemy, so it's kind of hard. Like I would love for Eric Bieniemy.
Oh, yeah. I think I would. I mean, I would tell G-Ro, kick rocks if Eric Bieniemy comes down.
I don't want him to be no offensive coordinator. I want him to get a head coaching job.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't think he's going to take a lateral move.
Don't take. Yeah, he don't. He deserves a lot better than that. He should have been a head coach. He should have been a Giants head coach, but that's another story. We ain't gonna talk about that because I get a little frustrated with those folks. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They saying G-Ro would have to go for sure. For sure?
delicious. Like, as soon as he EB, what?
Delicious.
Oh, man. Hold on.
I get it, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I can see the big time amount of frustration that people are having with Greg Roman. Some people think the scheme is not changing, but the scheme is actually changing. And go look at how different each quarterback played from each other while Lamar got hurt. If you go look at Josh Johnson, the plays were set up a certain way for him. If you go look at the way that Tyler Huntley played, the scheme was different than when Lamar was in there. They were pulling out some of the plays out of the vault. Things were changing.
They were pulling out a long time ago.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Delicious acting like he back in like he from Harlem Nights, like that was sunshine. Like, put your mama on the phone. I ain't coming home. G-Ro, you gotta go. Right in the middle of the game. Yeah, you gotta go. That's
Justin. Right. So you guys weren't here when this whole delicious conversation had. So his name is so long that all we kept seeing was the D on there, and we're just like, all right, man, we're gonna call you D from here on out, man. And then we started going back to the Steve Harvey, the Kings of Comedy skit, where they was talking about, was it Cedric the Entertainer was talking about Delicious yelling the grown man's name down the street, we're like, yo, Delicious. So that is why we call Drieskick or my man here Delicious, because the name was too long at the time. We kept seeing a lot of comments, and so Drieskick ended up, also Andre Mears, he ended up being Delicious from that point forward. So that is the history behind the Delicious name. So if you see Drieskick, that is Delicious.
Lisa says she pro Greg Roman.
Oh, let's see here. She said, let's see here. Justice says G-Ro overstayed is welcome. What did Lisa say? She said she's pro G-Ro, pro G-Ro. And that's the thing. People, like I said, Steve Smith is just one of those people who just going to tear people down left and right. And so he had the opportunity after the Bills lost to completely light Greg Roman up. Shannon Sharp came on TV and lit Greg Roman up. And then there was a full breakdown of how terrible the routes were in the playoffs. Yes, they were bad. It was bad. But you have to remember the good with the bad. The 2019 season, the Ravens set a record for rushing that hasn't been broken since 1978. Greg Roman had something to do with that. And they recognized that they had a good thing, and they were trying to keep that good thing going, because while everybody else is going left, the Ravens are going right. They do business differently than everybody else in the league. That's the thing. And that's where Greg Roman exceeds. It's where he excels. Now, of course, adaptability is not the biggest thing. In-game adaptability with Greg Roman is not his thing. And that's something that he's going to have to learn and have to trust on these guys that got brought in to help with that.
And they helped last year. To be quite honest with you, they helped the passing game last year. Who's the passing coordinator is Keith, correct? Keith is the passing coordinator.
Yeah. And so they were sixth in the league in passing.
He had something to do with it on both ends for Roman. I'm sure they both come in there to Roman and help him out.
What was the sixth in offense? No, sixth in offense last year. Sorry, sixth in total offense. So if you got an offense coordinator that's sixth in total offense, do you fire him? Or do you fire the defensive coordinator who had the worst passing defense in the league? And I know that, don't get me wrong. I like Wink because he's a player's coach. He got a good mentality, but he was spamming the heck out of that daggone blitz button, and that's all he had. Greg Roman was actually working on his craft and actually open to the ideas of those guys that were placed with him between Keith Williams and
that on the defense too, bringing in somebody else that could
McDonald.
Because remember when we did have the number one defense in the league, who was there? Mike McDonald was assistant defensive coach. He was behind him. Yep. He both interviewed for that job. That was Lamar's rookie year. Okay.
Brooke says she's pro-lock Roman in a closet. He's so girl. Get your life together. Let's see here. All right, so let's keep rolling. So there's a lot of people saying good riddance to Don Martindale. And then we're going in. Oh, what did Jack say? Wait a minute, you didn't say just our defense. Dude, I'm gonna need you to slow down. Just type it. Now oh my gosh, you hurt my head, bro. I'm gonna take this off screen.
The whole team was decimated with injuries, bro, but the offense still excelled to some degree. So you gotta if you don't have the same pieces on the floor, you can't play the same game. You gotta adjust. We had two shutdown corners.
Right.
Two of the best corners in the game.
To put it simply put, Curtis Painter did not come in and run the same offense that Peyton Manning was running. It just didn't work. It didn't work for him because Peyton ran things differently. Peyton had a different skill set. Peyton was running audibles. Curtis Painter was like, I'm getting paid to hold this daggone clipboard. And then he got told, hey, you need to go ahead in the game. Huh? I got to play? Oh, heck. But the skill sets are totally different, and you have to be able to cater to what you have there. And that's kind of what Greg Roman does. He caters to some strengths. I'm not saying that Lamar is not flexible enough to do different things. I'm just saying that he's seeing some strengths.
Sorry.
And he's seeing some areas where he can improve, and that all right, we'll veer away from those. But for the most part, he's just like, hey, we're gonna work with what we got and make the best of it. And some things worked. Oh, we got new people in the room. Hold on right quick. Let's go back here. So Larry Davis, man, welcome to the Cash Rider Report. I don't know if you know I don't know if you came in late, but this is my main man Cam Brew right here. And you know what I'm saying? I'm your Cash Rider Raven Jermaine Locker. So appreciate you coming through. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, smack that bell so you know when it's going down. Because normally we post on Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:45, but this week is a little different. Some other things happen. So let's see what this comment says here.
Make sure you say that Central Time. Sorry, I'm looking at.
Yes, Central. Sorry, Central Time. Don't be late. Don't be.
East Coast.
So 2019 worked because it was the only season G-Ro had a full roster. He beat 5 playoff teams that season. Yes, when you got a healthy roster, things go right. Just like Cameron was saying, if everything's healthy, you good.
Adjust. If you just imagine if we had everybody on the field last year with the passing scheme that Keith brought in and T was helping with, just think about that whole thing. How much better the offense would have been ran. Just in general, just like we never had all three of them on the field other than the Miami game, and they looked the shell of themselves the Miami game. I'm talking about Bateman, Sammy, and Hollywood. We never adjusted to the cover zero. That's when you want to put on Lamar. You can put a little bit on Lamar, but you got to put on a scheme. It's just so many things you can put on. We had no offensive line. It's so many things you you can't overcome. So
yeah, you can't just put it all on one person. It was
you're not gonna put it all on one person. But at the same time, on defense, your best corners go down. Tavon Young is off and on in the field. Then your third best corner go down. You're not even playing with house money no more. You playing with somebody else's toy box in the back, asking, can I get a couple of them?
Pulling guys off the cash. You okay? Let's play. Come on, play.
What you doing? Nothing. You want to play some football?
Yeah, we're singing the song. What you doing?
Oh yeah,
where playing. You at? Oh, yeah. You got playing.
That's what we did.
Don't say that.
Come through. Just pull up real quick.
Yeah.
You ain't even got to
running. I'll be outside.
You got to practice. That's not bad.
Play right now. They need me, man. We injured again.
Yeah.
All right, so let's we'll hop down to this and we'll go back to the tight ends because I think we were finishing on Isaiah Likely and then we were going into the main man. Let's see.
Talk about that man.
So
we ain't talk about Man Drews. Man Drews is Man Drews.
Yeah. So Larry is saying people are forgetting that we lost by 1 point to the team that won the Super Bowl, and most team was on IR. Yeah, we lost. We had the most losses within 2 points. Within 2 points than anybody in the league. So that should tell you if those games had went the opposite direction, we'd have been in the playoffs. No, so that also lets you know, like maybe the scheme works. Head coaching. He took some chances, whether it was right or wrong. He took some chances, and it went the way it went. And of course, we can't go back. We don't have our 1972 DeLorean to go back and make these changes. We just got to go forward. Can't go back to the future and look at these situations differently. We just got to roll with what they were. And like I feel a certain type of way about them. I'm pretty sure y'all feel a certain type of way about them. But honestly, it was not on scheme. It was not on scheme. It was on the fact that we took chances and it didn't work out the way we planned. All right, so let's go with Brooke here. We'll say she said, if every receiver is throwing shade at him, there's a problem. Well, the thing is, receivers are competitors, Brooke. They full on competitors. They have been brought in to compete. Every receiver that you come across that is a high profile receiver has attitude. They got basically a little bit of AB sprinkled into their system naturally from birth. That's the dog, that's the competitor in them. They want the rock. You know, if you go up to any receiver and they say, oh, no, go ahead and give it to Mandrews, they don't deserve to be on your team because they are not a competitor. They don't have that dog in them. Every receiver wants to rock. Willie Snead was mad because he didn't get more receptions because he thought if he left New Orleans and came to Baltimore that he would get more of the receptions. But then he recognized, hey, this is a tight ends league. This is a tight ends game right now, or at least in Baltimore it is. And so if you have receivers that are hungry like that, they want to go to organizations where they think they're going to get fed. Hollywood said it on, I want to say it was I Am Athlete, and I think he might have said it, he might have liked a couple of posts that were along that line of thinking. He said they waited till late in the game to involve me, to help the team come back instead of actually using me early. Those were his words. And that's just scheme. That's simply game planning, how they go into each game Sunday. They plan on using the ground and pound. That's what they want to do. That's the bread and butter of the team.
I hear what he's saying, but I disagree with him a little bit with him saying that because you the fifth most targeted receiver in the league. So I don't see how we playing. And I watched every game.
Yeah.
I don't miss a Baltimore Ravens game. I've watched every game.
I think it was he had some merit to it with the Vikings game and the Colts game. Comeback. But those were just games that kind of like he had to get thrown back into the game because it was out of hand. There was no running allowed, really.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you get used. We didn't use you in the beginning. That doesn't mean that you wasn't catching the ball in the beginning. We wasn't scoring touchdowns, and I mean the whole team. It doesn't matter if we will get all the way down to the red zone. For some reason, it wasn't working.
Yeah, and the thing is like when you got a scheme set up, the way that it's set up, we're not dialing up the launch codes immediately because of the fact we want to see what we can get on the ground. If you see the stats and it says, hey, this is probably one of the 28th worst team against the run, you're not game planning to throw the ball, like coming out the gate because you want to see, hey, how badly can we whoop this team that is bad against the run? And we know this. We've game planned for this. I'm not planning to come out here and hit them in the mouth with passing the ball, especially if they already have proven to most of the league that they garbage on the ground.
The reason I'm not disagreeing with you, I'm talking about disagreeing with the fact that what he was saying is because when we threw the ball in the beginning of the game, if it wasn't going to Andrews, who was it going to? Number 5. So I don't understand how you sit up there and say that part.
Yeah, he had 300 targets between the two of them. That was the most in the league. More than Kelsey, more than the Kelsey Tyreek combo, which was 193, or was it 293? 293.
Just contradicting himself because you say it's not about the targets, but then you say it's about the targets. You understand what I'm saying?
I think when he's gonna be really upset when he gets down there and recognizes that he got to share with more. he got to share with
Say
AJ.
you don't have a problem with that. That's
Mhm.
what I'm saying. He doesn't. On I Am Athlete, he said it's not about the targets,
But it's about the targets.
but it's about but you if you saying that you get targeted late, it's about the targets.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not. So it's not when I'm being used. It's not how much I'm being used. It's when I'm being used. But if you're not open during that time, or if they double you during that time,
Yeah.
what is Lamar supposed to do if he got to find somebody else? It's not that he forgot about you. You always that's you his main man. He always looking for you. He trying to make sure you eat. He didn't want you to leave even when he knew
They're
you.
besties, man. He was trying to feed him the rock as much as possible.
Look, even the fact that he knew since the beginning of the time that you already put the request in, he still was just shocked that it happened.
Yeah.
Can I get to something real quick?
Who that? Who's comment?
I just want to answer something on Big Reg when he said that
Let me go back up.
Hero's bad. He said, I'm over it. He's over it though. He said, but Hobbs not gonna hire a guy that has the potential to take the job. I disagree with that, Big Reg, and the only reason I'm saying that is because we already got two of them on the squad.
Yep.
And that's the passer game coordinator, Keith Williams, and that's T. Martin. Especially T. Martin.
The other dude too, who came over from was he the tight ends coach from Miami?
Who
I think he was a tight ends coach in Miami, and then he came over here and he's like a QB coach.
Oh, you're talking about the one that was at Georgia Tech. He was an offensive coordinator at Georgia Tech as well.
Okay.
Yeah, he was offensive coordinator. I know you're talking about. He's going to be the assistant QB coach because
Urban new in the room here.
Urban also has the opportunity to be the head coach. So we got 3, maybe 4. Brooke is on in 7 minutes.
That's right. All right. So April Taylor says, I can't wait for the season to start, period. We're going to ball with G-Ro or without him. I'm cheering for our team. Thank you, April. Appreciate you. Make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, and smack that bell so you know what's going down. Welcome to the Rump, girl. We're getting it in down here.
Exactly.
She said he was too soft to be on our team. Soft bread.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah, they did say he was like trying to get down, trying to get out of bounds. Even Sip today said, yeah, he's like, I ain't throwing no shade, but he's like, you don't see him shying away from contact and trying to get down.
Yeah,
he's talking about pro shape, but
you're right.
All right, let's see what the Angry Man says here. He says, well, we all knew Hollywood wasn't a number one. I've never seen a number one try to avoid contact and leave yards on the field like Hollywood did. I think, you get what you can get, and then sometimes you just make it a business decision so you can keep rolling, especially when he didn't have confidence in his ankle at the time.
Jack, angry, aka Angry Man, he just I agree with you, but at the same time, like you were saying, he make business decisions, and he's just not built. He's more. I had to really. It took me a minute to realize it because I was like, nah, he's just trying to make the business decision. He's just going down, but he's not really built. Like we got. Every top receiver that's been here got an attitude. Anthony Mason was not a big dude. He had an attitude when he caught the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you know Derek Mason, yeah.
He had attitude.
Yeah.
He had attitude. We know Q had an attitude.
Yeah.
We know Smitty had an attitude.
Yeah, he ready to fight somebody on the field. Like, let's go.
That's us. That's like, I don't care what position you play, what size you are, but a receiver here got to be tough. And he got to be. If you give me a shot, I'm giving you one back. That's the difference.
And I think that today's wide receiver is more tough on the Twitter than actually.
Fingers, huh?
Yeah, they got those Twitter fingers.
They got
itchy Twitter fingers ready to go and say something. The second they leave an organization, they're gonna say how they feel. Kelvin Benjamin was one of those. He sat there and he said, "Huh?"
I got a song for that one too.
Yeah. What is it? Let's hear it.
I got something to send you that one. We got to go ahead.
Okay. So anyway, basically, when it comes to these wide receivers, you have the tougher ones who let their actions speak louder than their words. Where like Debo, he's on the field beating people up, looking for that contact, not shying away because he got the dog in him. And then you got players like Derek. Derek Mason was one of those ones. Like he had a little bit of a mouth on him, but he balanced it out with the way he played because he was that possession receiver that can move chains and try to get some yak. Steve Smith left it on the field, even though he talked a ton of trash and had people over here telling him like mowing his grass or whatever. That was hilarious. Dog. But then you got today's receivers who whine on Twitter about everything. Dez Bryant right now. Dez was whining on his way out the door about the whole formation. You know, you got Willie Snead throwing shots on the way out the door. You know, you got Hollywood passively saying things that didn't work for him and wanting to go to another organization because he's selfish. When you are a team, you got to think about more than just you in this organization. You know, you got to think of the entire organization and how it's going to benefit, how you're going to win as a team. And sometimes it takes that selflessness in order to be a receiver, but you still got to go out there and do you when your number's called upon.
I'm just, you know what, the only reason I'm happy about it is because it does push the money back a little bit for us as far as like paying a receiver. And that way you can just focus on paying the man that needs to be paid. And that's LJ. I mean,
Brooke, no, Brooke. No,
AB ain't gonna come here if his cousin just left.
She just wants him to do some work to G-Ro. So she only want him on the field. She just wants him to beat up G-Ro like an assault case or something. I don't know. She wilding. Absolutely wilding. All right. So last piece, of course, was we're going forward. Of course, we know who we talking about. We know about Mandrews here. But the dude is number 89 on the program. Number 1 in our hearts right now as far as tight ends go. $56 million man. Like
Derek Mason, my bad. KT, you know the hell I was talking about.
You know, I already called that up.
We know we ain't got over this already. You know I'm tired. I got a lot going on during the day, bro.
Yeah, so he's Mandrews is a type 1 diabetic baller, is what I like to call this guy here. 149 targets in 2021. He had 107 receptions. That was first among tight ends. The 149 targets was first among tight ends. The 1,361 receiving yards, first among tight ends. 9 touchdowns, tied for first among tight ends. He only had 3 drops the entire season. And like you said, he's Lamar's security blanket right now. This dude averaged 12.7 yards per catch. So we're hoping that number goes up a little bit more, especially if we're rolling with 13 personnel sets, which I'm hoping that's kind of what we roll with. I mean, more likely it's going to end up being 12 because they want to put Pat Ricard in there. So you might see like 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, but that's still more heavies on the field. Honestly, when it comes to our guys like Wallace and Prochet and Duvernay, the numbers are going to go down a little bit because of the fact that we got all these heavies in here. But ultimately, in the end, if you're an unselfish player and you believe it and you can rock this scheme, things are going to go up. Huh?
Whose numbers are going to go down?
Oh, I think the receivers' numbers are going to go down. Some of the other
numbers right now anyway.
Like Rashad is still going to go up, right? Rashad's numbers are still.
Maybe the only one that got some numbers. You can't say the rest of them gonna go down when they ain't got no numbers right now. Anyway.
Yeah, they ain't gonna eat much. So I mean, but when I say go down, I guess in the end they probably gonna go up. So like you look at it with the 13 personnel, Snead got 339 yards off of 31 catches. So if they run the 13 personnel again, then you could see Prochet somewhere around the numbers of 31 receptions and 339 yards, which misses the target for my bet. But at the same time, I'm all about the W. I'll take that L in my way for the team to get that W.
He still went up. But I think it's gonna be. I think we're gonna be able to pass the ball. I just think we're gonna be able to pick your. You know, I think they setting it up to like pick your poison.
Brooke She said, or just scare him. Maybe threaten to throw a couch off a balcony on him. Like, my goodness, girl, go on with that. Brooke said it's time, but we're gonna read a couple more comments.
Hold on, Brooke. Give us like 10 more minutes. Give us like 10.
Yeah, can you get 10 more minutes, Brooke? 10 more.
I need to talk about Chuck. Well, go ahead.
All right. So we got if Wallace numbers go down anymore, he won't be on the field. Oh, yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, he got no numbers. He got what? He had 1 target last year.
Brother.
Yeah, one target the whole year.
Going down. Nobody's numbers going down. Everybody's numbers going up. He had no targets.
All right, so maybe putting Foots and G-Ro will open up that safe and knock some plays out. Like I said, the safe was open. It's just different quarterbacks, so we were a little bit kind of blinded with how the things that were being opened up being pulled out. G-Ro coached the greatest run team in history, and some Ravens fans do nothing but crap on him. Hey, thank you, Bill Sills. I think that's the truth. Yeah. Justin says, "Hey ho." Hey ho, got to go. Hey, he's got a song. Okay. Oh, okay. Hey ho, Zero got it. Oh yeah, whatever. I'm saying here reading it instead of singing it. Okay, so that's exactly why I'm not feeling this 2019 offense. Our wide receivers are too good for that. it's got to have a balance. Bring these tight ends just to have one on the field at the same at one time. You know, they're gonna either roll with a single back with double tight sets, or they're gonna be rocking with 13 personnel, man.
I'm glad that they keep talking about it because that's when you go and slap them in the face and give them something different. So they think it's just going to look like 2019. It's not.
She gave us
2019. It's not just going to look like 2019, especially when you got the passing game coordinator that you have, and he's in there working with not just the tight end, not just the receivers, but the tight ends and the running back. So it's not going to look the same. Definitely not going to look the same. The running game may look the same.
This girl.
But that's about it.
You just hate G, bro. You just really hate that dude.
I'm going to suck it up for one more year.
Mm-hmm. All right, Big Red says, nah, somebody changed the lock on the safe and G-Ro can't find the combo. y'all savage. They coming for G-Ro neck up in here, man. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do my best to try to get that dude on the show and let him explain himself to y'all. All right, so y'all know how to, y'all got contacts with G-Ro, without being too hateful, get the guy on the show. Let's see. Justin says, Cam, I make that your next single. I'll produce it.
Get out of here.
Hold on. Justin says something about Devin. Devin's going to be a hidden gem. Yeah, being able to have that. I mean, jump ball is his thing, man. Oh, my gosh. This dude jumps about the gym. But he also has, like, as light as he is, the guy can block. So I think
I know y'all going for Devin, but I don't know. Like I said about Malik Poe.
Yeah, Makai
Pope. You don't get 105 receptions in the SEC. You trash. I'm sorry. I know he ran a bad 40 time, but everything else that I've been hearing, he's smart on the field. They all had a good rookie mini camp, so I just gotta see when the preseason come around, bro. You gotta see what it look like when the preseason come around.
He had 105 catches and 9 touchdowns in 2021.
Huh?
And so he had 105 catches and 9 touchdowns in 2021. Okay, and then they said he fell because his combine and pro day, flexible, reliable, catches the ball. He's got physicality, yards after the catch, creates separation, decent routes running. Another possession wide receiver, but I think we got plenty of possession wide receivers. We need that jump ball expert back there with Devin.
He's 6'3". He can do the jump ball. He can do it all.
Yeah,
that's the thing. He's a route runner. He can. We don't have. Look, they didn't bring anybody in there to be a burner. None of them are fast. Not one of them.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna be a burner there. But like I said, that jump ball, like with the way Devin catches the jump ball, I think Makai. When I watch his tape, I like watching him go up and climb the ladder as well. But I think Devin is one of those ones I'm excited about the most.
I just know Devin. He can run that route. Like if somebody getting his chest, somebody getting Devin's chest, or getting if any of them they can't run that route. You ain't jumping nothing. So they all there to do the jump. Or I need more than one trick pony. Yo, you gonna make this team. You got to do.
Well, I know we discussed this already, but we might as well just go and appease her. Well, if we had to bring one in, who would we bring in, Jarvis or Jones?
You don't want to bring in Jarvis because you don't.
I don't want either one. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You're gonna have to bring in somebody, bro. It's gonna be somebody gonna be brought in. No. Somebody gonna be brought in, or we gonna sign somebody.
Wow.
I just need long as somebody there to help them get through, bro. Ask KT. Ask KT. He'll tell you who you want. He probably gonna say Jarvis.
3. 3, dang it.
Jarvis. KT probably gonna say Jarvis. I think he said something about Will. Did you say something about Will Fuller at one time?
Devin Duvernay finna go ham is what he says.
Yeah, I think Devin.
But that's the thing, yo. Devin can't go ham if you bring Jarvis in. It just I don't think
that's gonna stop him because Devin can get downfield.
He can.
Jarvis ain't get downfield. Jarvis he is gonna interrupt with the slot rotation and whatnot. But again, I think if you're gonna sign him, you're gonna sign him for a year. You gonna sign. We don't have the money. We can't sign Jarvis, so Jarvis going back. I'm gonna tell you where he's going. He's going back to New Orleans.
That's what I thought. I was like going back there, going around his LSU stomping ground, so he can go ahead and hang out on Bourbon Street.
Anyway, he's gonna go back to New Orleans, so he ain't gonna make it here.
Nah, and I think what's gonna happen is he's gonna sign a 2-year deal,
Where?
or in New Orleans, or maybe a multi-year deal. He gonna hang out for a year, and then Odell Beckham gonna be like, New Orleans look pretty good. Let me go ahead and hang out over there as well. So Odell Beckham's probably going to New Orleans as well. It seems like they're gonna just have an LSU party because Matthew down there right now too, and they just gonna have a squad. It's just they're gonna be in debt big time for the next 30 years trying to pay these guys off.
Well, they're trying to get there's a couple of teams that's interested in them, so we'll see what happens.
Brooke is correct. Gonna break something, sign the contract. He's like, all right, man, I got you, fam. You know, we gonna be. I'm gonna be out 6 weeks, y'all. I'll come back. All right. So Larry says, what kind of impact will our new safeties make versus vertical gains versus Cincy and the Bills? I think what we'll do is we'll do some safety or secondary maybe on the next show. That way we can talk about the full secondary, all the other options that are there, and even get into a little bit of Robert Jackson or some of the other backups who got roasted by Cincinnati and see which ones are actually going to make the squad this year. Let's see.
We real think they're tough on the league.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, if you're not the top dog.
Just come on now, man. Don't get me wrong. That was my father's team, and I'm gonna let you on the inside of the Lockett house or Lockett family history for a second here. My father was a extremely huge Saints fan. He loved the state of Louisiana, and he loved them so much that he would sneak off to go to Saints games. He was one of those folks that wore the paper bags over his head because in the 90s, if you lived in Shreveport, Louisiana, you was a Cowboys fan. Like you weren't like nobody wore Saints stuff in the 90s, but my dad was one of those folks who wore the Saints shirts, all that. We buried this man because he wasn't a suit and tie guy. We buried him when he died in a Saints jersey.
Wow.
That's how dedicated he was just to the Saints. We just saw him. We didn't see when we looked at our dad. We was like, all right, man, he's a God-fearing man. You know, love the word of God. But we didn't see him in a business suit. That just wasn't how we saw him. So we buried him actually in a Saints jersey. And then, of course, the year he died, the Saints won the Super Bowl. So that's, if I was to ever have another team, maybe the Saints. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Saints, they do look good, but I think I'm a Raven for life. That's my squad, man. All right, so Mardi Gras, and then secondary is our secondary good enough to contain the Bills and Bengals?
I do. I believe we do.
Oh, yeah, like I said, they didn't go into the draft thinking, all right, we're gonna fight firepower with firepower. No, they went in there like, hey, we're ready to punch the daggone team in the mouth that's trying to come at us because we're gonna have that good defense, man.
Big Reg said since he's gonna drop 40 on us again this year.
Who said that?
Who else? Big Reg.
Hey, Reg, you even a Ravens fan, bro? I think we've asked this before. Anyway, so Brooke says, I want to be buried in a Marlowe jersey with the taco in my hand. Lord, in a Marlowe jersey? With all the craziness that he's saying right now? of all jerseys, she still love her man. Anyway, Jack Conklin, are you supposed to be at training camp? What's she talking about?
Oh, you're talking about because Jack.
Yeah.
Angry man. Talk about Jack.
All right, so we at 1:38. I know Brooks is probably about to hit the timer in just a minute here. I think we had a great time tonight. It was a pretty good show. Like I said, I think the motivational moment thing is a hit. We're going to continue to keep those motivational moments going because I feel like y'all need that fuel. We need that fuel for our lives. I think my brother, GK, if you're still in the room, go back and listen to the motivational moment because I feel like that's something for you as well. I want y'all, if y'all haven't listened to it, please go back and listen to at least to the first couple of minutes of the show where I do the motivational moment because that is something that we're going to keep rocking. I think it's going to help you throughout your days and hopefully throughout your lives. So this is the show, folks. When we went over it, we talked about our tight ends. We know who our stars are. We know what's at the top. It's just trying to figure out everything else that is going to be at the bottom right there. The murky details of whether Boyle's healthy and whether Oliver is going to make the roster. Those are your two really shiftable parts. But this is the home of Original Sports Perspective. From our couch to yours. This is your Couch Rider Raven. This is Cam Rue. We're signing out, folks. I want y'all to have a good night. Y'all take care. We'll see you next time.
Reg with the bad knees.
Peace out.
Introducing the Couch Rider Raven Report. Let's go. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. Couch Rider. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. We gon' ride out. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. Couch Rider. We gon' ride out.
For some of you Twitter gangsters, this is just a hobby, original sports perspective. You can't stop me. Couch Rider Report, it's reflective. Please respect me. You will get checked, and your knowledge will be tested. I ain't the coldest Raven, but this is my show. Shout out to the Barry White of rap for the beat, though.